Every battle's a star show, every match a pure delight. Electric sparks and fiery blaze, trainers shouting a cheer. This is where dreams are made, winning's our quest. Oh dear, Thickies Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. The Thickies Pokemon League, where the best and the bold. Only beauty can compete, only legends are told. Flashing lights and roaring crowd, in the ring they take their stance. Only pros and beauty queens, here they all get their chance. Thickies Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. From Bulbasaur to Charizard, strong and stunning and bright. Every battle's a star show, every match a pure delight. Electric sparks and fiery blaze, trainers shouting a cheer. This is where dreams are made, winning's our quest. Oh dear, Thickies Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. The Thickies Pokemon League, where the best and the bold. Only beauty can compete, only legends are told. Flashing lights and roaring crowd, in the ring they take their stance. Only pros and beauty queens, here they all get their chance. Thickies Pokemon League, the best and beautiful league. In the spotlight they gleam, living the Pokemon dream. From Bulbasaur to Charizard, strong and stunning and bright. Every battle's a star show, every match a pure delight. Electric sparks and fiery blaze, trainers shouting a cheer. This is where dreams are made, winning's our...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Thickies Pokemon League podcast. Joining me tonight is Machiavelli, back in the booth, at long last.
Yeah, first time in over a month. We've been in the mountains recovering from our mishap in the Final Four game.
Yeah, how has that recovery gone? Do you feel stronger than before?
Yes. Yeah, we're dialed in. Have to clear the throat there. Yeah, we were in Snow Point City, just doing some training one-on-one fist-to-fist combat with Reggie Gigas in the basement of the temple.
Yeah, big opening night for Sneasler.
Yeah, double-checked the roster, double-checked the ability. Looked good. I definitely had the unbird in that game. We're dialed in, ready to go. Week 2, good week though. Week 1, a lot of people, a couple debuts.
Some big performances, definitely, across the league. I think what we're going to do first is hop into some matchups this upcoming week 2 and follow it up with a little film review and answer any questions you guys have along the way. Let's get those matchups on the screen, Mr. Producer. And we'll start with the Castelia Conference with the rookie MRF 780 versus the former champion Frosty P. What did you like out of MRF in his debut? Close series.
Yeah, it was scrappy. Definitely a scrappy series to say the least. I thought at certain points, I thought they were going to get the win over Staying Safe, but just looked like I feel like Staying Safe had an answer. Everything he was going to throw at him. The Terra Blast, Terra Ice was just tough to switch into for a little bit of his team. I mean, especially with Tinglu. A lot of times just getting worn down. I think he went to King Gambit very well. Just Staying Safe. He stayed away from Magic City and locked.
Yeah, looking at these teams, looking at these matchups, is there anything that really stands out to you? You know, Frost DP did look great week one, but tough to say. You know, where tough to gauge the ability when it's two rookies week one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, you don't know how they're going to play. They're going to, build. I mean, are they going to go, off scale? Are they going to go straight up? What works on paper? I think DP should have this one, though.
I think we had some audio issues there for a moment. I do apologize.
Huh?
I think we had some audio issues there for a moment. Yeah, I think you were cutting in and out, and I was trying to fix it. I think we're back.
Yeah, we're still in the mountains. We haven't left. We're still in the mountains, so we're still up here.
Yeah, recap, in case anything was missed. The Mac Man, been training in the mountains, strong Sneasler performance, likes what he saw at MRF, thought staying safe was maybe a little bit more prepared. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going DP with this one. I think DP's got Iron Moth is going to cause a lot of problems here, especially for Clef, Skarm. Over time, I think Tinglu can get worn down by the Meowscarada. Chips. Polt can't Terra here, so it's going to be tough for Polt to, go 1v1 versus things like Tinkaton. And, I think DP's just could play smart, composed. Depends how much partying he does. We know that little guy likes to party. They're calling him the little man in Toronto. Not really sure if that name has been conferred by the DP camp, but I like DP 2-0 pretty convincingly here.
Yeah, I think another one to look out for is the Conkeldurr. Really matches up well. Has a lot of opportunities to switch in and start really pumping out those guts boosted attacks. And nothing really that you want to switch into that at all anyway, but this team in particular. But there's a very fearsome top 5 or 6 that MRF has. DP, yeah, I think like you said, Iron Moth looks pretty good into him, and just based off of pedigree at this point, I think I would go with DP. But I'd love to be proven wrong. And with that, we'll go to my matchup versus staying safe, and I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, we do know staying safe. Coming into the season, he cut off the dreadlocks. Told us in an interview that he wished he still had his locks, but he had to cut them off. He's been doing a lot of partying lately, especially down there in Atlanta. Will he be partying this week? Another guy. 2 guys like to party. DP, staying safe. 2 party guys. Will they be locked in for this game? I think staying safe is aware of the challenge. He's got to take on the defending champ. On paper, I'm not really sure what his game plan is going to be here. I'm thinking, he's going to have to protect Zam this week, especially with, Latios is going to be a tough look. And we could see the Medicham possibly come off the bench here. The opportunity for little Medicham shenanigans here. I just think the Dark Spam is going to be too much. I'm going to go Mikey 2-0. I think it'll be closer than people expect, though. But like I said, Zam and Screamtail are going to be key here. Even Moltres, really.
Yeah, we appreciate the confidence, and Zamazenta a big threat. We're going to keep an eye on that in our preparation and our coaching behind the scenes this week. Which brings us now to Sunny versus Kel.
Yep. Yeah, back-to-back 0-4 losses for Sunny, but it looked competitive versus DP in some facets. Really scrappy, really throwing them hands. I mean, he was on the ground getting beat up, but he was punching back. I think Kel is going to bounce back here. Tough matchup week 1 versus Chiva, who was, pretty salty coming off the championship loss there. So, I mean, obviously Chiva was going to be locked in week 1. So that was a tough win for Kel to kind of scrape away. But I think Kel is just going to play it safe. I mean, Blaziken +2 forces a lot of pressure on Sunny's team. And I think pivoting from Bundle and Shocks is just going to be too much to overcome. Look for sub superior, especially if it gets going. I think this is a good matchup for it. I like Kel 2-0 pretty easily here. Superior, Blaziken are my two mons to watch.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with that. And Kel did seem confident despite the loss heading into week 2 here. Sunny's roster, I think, quite a bit better than what he had last season. The problem is, I think, like you mentioned, there's a lot of pieces that can really attack and pick apart Sunny's team, all pretty effectively. You're going to have a lot of trouble switching into any of Sandy, Shocks, Iron Bundle, Blaziken. Like you said, Superior somewhere to watch. But, Gardevoir has good potential into a lot of those, too, with, like, a specially defensive set. Magnezone can run Assault Vest. I'm curious to see what these two do to kind of counter each other. But I think Sonny's going to show us a little something. I think Kel wins 2-1.
Yeah, we're getting a report on the ground from Greg Gumbel that DP, in fact, does have a party this weekend. Hopefully the cheap vodka won't take him out for his Saturday night matchup.
Hopefully not. That is a tough roster in anybody's hands to go up against.
Yeah.
Where are we at now?
Willis Greedon.
Willis
maybe
Greedon.
apart.
I was looking at the spreadsheet there. Willis
Yeah.
and Greedon. That's a rivalry match.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure if Willis has confirmed it or not. I mean, he said possible cart game. We'll have to possibly check in and maybe booth in that if that does happen.
Cart game would go nuts. Let's be honest, folks. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but we're hearing that there's rumors. Greedon's been itching to stream something, and that's something that we could possibly pick up.
Yeah, we'd love to get that on national television. Who do you think's gonna win?
It's definitely going to 3. The sequence is going to be Willis lose game 1. Then he bounces back game 2 after an adjustment. And then since it's going to be on card, I mean, you can't really rebuild on the fly and adjust. I mean, that's where you hinder yourself a little bit in terms of flexibility in the builder. I'm going to go Greedon in 3. I think he's got the better team. I think he's got answers to pretty much almost everything besides Latias.
Yeah.
I mean, but even then, Reggie Steele's going to pose a threat for pretty much a lot of things. Yeah, if you look down, besides a couple, yeah, I don't know. I like Greedon. I think he's got the slight advantage.
Yeah, I really like Greenan's team a lot. But I think Willis has a pretty solid matchup here.
They both do.
Yeah, look out for Hyperior, too, as a Terra captain. I didn't get to see what Latias could do last week, unfortunately. Did not for Astellize in that game, too, shellacking. But I still think Willis, over time, has been just a little bit better than Greedon. Maybe more than a little bit, actually. He's performed a little better overall. I think Willis is somewhat of a mentor to Greedon, according to sources close to both camps. I'll take Willis 2-1 here. And let's see. Greedon gets 0-2'd without someone to build for him. That is out of the Frizz core. Frizion himself. Possible rivalry brewing in the Castelia Conference.
Yeah.
Finally, we've got Chiva and Dev, 2 of the best in the league at any time. What do you see here?
I mean, just on paper, I mean, Dev is gonna play it real calm. I think with Garg, obviously. Lando T, 2 of his backbones. Picked up Dango in a trade. Hatterene going the other way. I really like Dev's team, especially here. I think the one thing is just going to be Chiva getting the flexibility out of Yaxi speed, ice beam for the Lando. I mean, that's going to be the one thing is, I think Deox is such a catalyst for Chiva's team, setting up for things like Worm Moon to clean late games. So, this is a tough one to call. This is the old Muscle Man 50-50, but I'm going to lean...
That's a tough one.
I'm going to lean Chiva 2-1. This
really?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I may agree. Dev does have the Garganical as a captain this season. Does have knockoff users in Ogre Pawn. I think even Cyclozar can knock off. Could potentially remove like a Covert Cloak looking to counter that. Like a Boosting Iron defense set could be tough. I don't know. I'm really torn. But I think I like Chiva here 2-1 as well.
Tough, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Chiva's prep is a little bit better, which in the builder it'll make a difference. Slow series.
Yeah, and I mean according to the sheet, it's Enamorous not currently a captain at 20 points. I don't know. That's maybe a bit of a reach. But did have some points to spare, I'd assume. Yeah, not sure. Maybe with a Terra Enamorous, it'd be a different story. Kind of like that matchup a bit better. But right as of now, I've got Chiva 2-1. And that takes us now to the Driftvale Conference, where we got another former champion in Swaggy Boy versus a rookie, Low Luxio.
Yeah, Gadget Fire and Pouch is going to be too much. I don't think the game's going to be close.
What'd you see out of Low Luxio week 1?
I think Luxio outplayed Frizz for majority parts of the series. Really, I liked some of the tech. As someone who does love screens, I like the light screen setup for the Azu in Game 3. Not to foreshadow anything, but I think in terms of people that come into the league, I think Luxio definitely, my opinion.
Yeah, I think having that Terra Garchomp really opens things up for you. A lot of matchups become winnable behind that. But Swaggy, just based off past performance and what we saw week 1, I think the clear favorite here. Like you said, Gouging Fire really tough, especially in a capable player's hands. But I also liked what we saw from Luxio. He just plays, looks competent at the very least. That's not always the case for the newcomers to the league. I think he could steal a game, so I'll go Swaggy 2-1 here.
Yeah, I agree.
Interestingly enough,
I think 2-1 actually is what I'm going to change to.
Is running the Weatherless Walking Wake, something me and Swaggy actually discussed briefly in the chat this week. Curious to see how that plays out throughout the season. Something I'd like to try myself in the future. So next up, Lily Rose versus Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil still looking for that first series victory.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he gets it.
I think Cyndaquil. Yeah, I think he gets it here. Not to cut you off.
That's all right.
I like Cyndaquil here. Yeah, I'm going Cyndaquil here. Big Ursaluna week. Across the board. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have to get to the 7th Mon to have a really, really solid answer for Luna. If Cyndaquil plays its cards right, stays away from the Rock Slide chance he sets. Even Volk has a decent late game opportunity here. Once Heatran's gone. I don't know. Cyndaquil's got the paper. Can he put that paper into a paper airplane and fly it home? Producer's nodding at me. He liked that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm not sure he can, because Lily is a solid coach. But like you said, I like the matchup here. I think Palafin dangerous here, especially if it gets behind a substitute or even one of those like taunt bulk upsets, or even just something like Choice Band can be difficult for any team. And like you said, Ursaluna is gonna pump. It's what it does. And can get in against like Toxapex and Mola pretty easily without taking too much damage. I think Cyndaquil, I think he gets it done. 2-1. Lily falls, and then we see like a roster shake up from Lily maybe. Possible retirement if we're being honest. So that brings us now to Frisian versus Machiavelli. Now, what's the record all time between the two of you?
He's taken. I think every time he plays, he takes a game off at least. I don't think I've lost though. We haven't played in 2 seasons. I think last one was a 2-0. First time he played was a 2-0. I think second time he played was a 2-1. Probably like 6-2 somewhere. I don't know if my math's correct.
He's got to string 2 wins together. Definitely possible. Mandibuzz is not something your team really wants to run into.
Not many teams want to run into it. Nonetheless, my team leans pretty physical, especially with the absence of Crown. But we got some things. We got some things I think in the works.
We love to see Mandibuzz. We run through Mandibuzz. We become the vulture actually when we come across a Mandibuzz. It's a tough mon for you. Your style of play doesn't exactly enjoy going up against Dondozo, so that's something to watch out for as well.
No.
And even, Galarian Slowking. I can't even speak tonight, gentlemen. All right, pulling it together. Galarian Slowking also can pose some problems. Luckily, you've got the Hisuian Samurott. So you're going to lean a little more into hazards this season, that being the only real difference between now and last season, correct?
Yeah, I think obviously no Crown this season, but I think Ogerpon just gives you like such a a WinCon that it has two great abilities. It's got Trailblaze to boost itself, and then you can really just click Terra. You get +1 attack. I think it's more of a luxury than having somebody like Crown is straightforward. You can get trapped and you hit the psychic move on a dark type. Not many flash fire mon.
Technical difficulty from the side of Machiavelli.
On Isler and Ogerpon, but I mean this one's going to be annoying to play Mandibus. We don't know what's happening with the.
Yeah, a little bit of audio cutting out there. That's all right. The effect is the same. Yeah, the Ogerpon absolutely terrorizing that conference. Really difficult to switch into, even without having access to the Terra. I'm really excited to see what you do with that. That being said, historically, looking at the matchup, I think I'll take Machiavelli here, 2-1. I think Frisian can get a game off of you pretty consistently at this point. All right, Mac is out and back in.
Reset.
Well, reset action. We got RJ versus the execrable Tommy Tutu up next.
Yep. Yeah, I like RJ. I think RJ is going to be just. I think the attention to detail is something that you look at when you look at these two parties. Tommy Tutu, I think he's got more bark than bite, especially lately. Over the last couple of weeks, I think he's just been living his life vicariously, not really locked in as much. I think he's got the matchup on paper. He's got a pretty decent team. I just don't think he's got the brains for it. I think Fluttermane is going to be somebody to watch for here for the Tutu camp. I think Arkelodon is licking his chops looking at some of the Mons on Tutu's team. Especially if that Blastoise set comes that came last week. Not really sure the hell that thing was. I like RJ 2-1. I think the rain's going to be annoying for Tutu to deal with.
Yeah, I think just based off what we saw week 1, RJ is the favorite. But RJ did seem to struggle at times versus Cyndaquil.
Yeah.
But still, like you said, attention to detail, stronger display week 1. I think I'd lean RJ here. Tommy Tutu may take a game off of him, but I doubt it.
At this point, I think you just got to pencil in Tutu as underdogs for the rest of the season. The way he played week 1, I think Clouddire's got to make a decision here. Water absorber, unaware. What do I do? Versus rain, that can kind of really hurt you because then, something like, I don't know, if you click unaware, it's Barrascuda season. Just clicking, moves. So Chiyu can't click fire moves as much as it wants in the sun. So it's going to the rain.
Yeah, a lot of top talent really locked away in the Tutu camp at the moment under the boot of Tommy Tutu. Crown sitting there begging for a way out.
Crown set. CM Volt Switch.
And there will be callers close to the trade deadline. We'll see what Tommy Tutu elects to do. Maybe build some goodwill for future seasons where he hopes to compete a bit more. But right now, we're not impressed, and the producer's pissed. So finally, Limit versus Maki.
Yeah, I tell you what, Limit is unorthodox, but definitely a solid trainer. Some of his sets, I think, week 1 kind of threw me off a little bit, which I think, passing the sub and a Greninja, I thought that was very good. But I think Maki just played real competent. I mean, at some points, Vaporeon was just shrugging off moves that the Tutu camp was throwing at it. The CM Crown cannot break Fairy Vaporeon. That being said, I think Maki's going to take this one 2-0. I just like Magearna here. I like Magearna a lot of weeks, but I think Maki now getting the feet wet. Look for Magearna, look for Vappy to pass wishes back into it. Weavile can maybe just run Choice Band here and click knockoff and open things up.
Yeah, Maki finally with a team of their own. Looked pretty solid against Tommy Tutu last night. I think Maki's got the edge here. Limit, he's kind of volatile. He's teetered on, being really good, really competing with like the upper echelon of coaches, and then sometimes struggles to win against some of the lesser experienced coaches. So it kind of goes back and forth there. I just think the matchup here favors Maki a bit too much. I think Maki 2-1. I know I've split those a lot this tonight, 2-1 victories,
Yeah.
but I do think the league is highly competitive at the moment. And with that, we'll take a look at some replays, starting with Tommy Tutu and Maki. Oh, wrong one. There it is. And we are live. I'm gearing a lead from Maki into Rotom W from Tutu. And Tutu said he brought the wrong set here and it was supposed to have Trick. Not sure it would have made a difference.
It didn't change on my screen yet.
Oh, okay. Let's slow down a bit here.
Yeah, can we go back?
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll reset it for you, Bob.
Still looking at the matchups here, Jim.
Yeah, lock in.
There we go. Girl Boss Gaming.
Yeah, Tutu said he had the wrong Rotom W. Said not sure it would have made a difference. One thing to note is that this Blastoise was pretty much impotent.
Yeah, I think that once Maki realized that Rotom was choice, she really started leaning into the protects, scouting out what it's going to do with the Vappy and the Gliscor. At a certain point, once you realize that Amon is choice, you can really just play around it,
Yeah, and those two Protect users that, they commonly run Protect are going to be a nightmare for teams that want to rely on like a Choice Banded attacker. And of course, Urshifu Single Strike in my hands, and the opposite conference unable to break through those Protects. Urshifu Rapid Strike is in the conference, but that Water Absorb's going to eat that up anyway. Iron Crown really could have been a big issue for Maki in this game, but Tutu ultimately didn't do a whole lot with it. Didn't keep it healthy, played pretty sloppy with it. Otherwise would have been a big threat.
I think for somebody who plays closer attention, I think, to Soho than his own team, I think he would have realized if he had a brain, Choice Specs Crown was the play here. If you go, not to really go back a couple turns, but I think he just comes in and clicks Tachyon Cutter. I think it was versus Magearna, I want to say. I forgot who was in before. He just starts to open up, breaks down walls. Not really sure what the Calm Mind Volt Switch was for. So, and then right here, there's Water Absorbing a Vaporeon right after you saw it protected. Just,
Yeah, the thing is, and Maki kind of gives the blueprint here, Game 1, if Tutu had wanted to win Game 2, the blueprint being to force the Vaporeon to Terra Fairy and then try to do something with Iron Crown.
Yep.
Was never really able to get that done. Much like the Blastoise, it sort of lingered on the field and didn't accomplish a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't know what that set was for. At some points, you're just running Rapid Spin just to run Rapid Spin. And I don't think Maki really wanted to set the tone with hazards. Look who's on the team. Pretty highly unlikely that you're seeing Gliscor run Stealth Rock unless you absolutely really need it. But, look at that +1 Tachyon Cutter. If you just have Specs, Haze doesn't really do anything there. Vaporeon's really nullified. And then you're just clicking, I'm not really following.
Yeah, not going to be able to get it done.
And the Chi-Yu switching his Scald, just wasting Chi-Yu for no reason, was kind of interesting, to say the least.
That was a kind of a theme. Like he couldn't plan how to break down the Vaporeon necessarily and sort of deli-moded, as our curator would say. A lot of Mons into the Slicer for no good reason.
Yeah, Vaporeon was really just 1v1ing the whole team here. Even this, look, Wish, boom. It's AV Magearna, so it's going to live Tachyon pretty easily, even at +1.
And here's a pretty funny sequence. The Salamence is going to get to +2 attack and +1 speed after a Dragon Dance and a KO. Unfortunately, it goes for a Dragon Tail here and is not going to be able to capitalize on that. And the Gliscor will finish the encounter with full health. And he does bring in a choice-locked Rotom into a Mon that assuredly has Protect. So,
not really sure. Not really sure what the thought process was there for the Tutu camp.
Important to note that luck was heavily favoring Tutu throughout this game as well.
Yeah, the para is really hindering Magearna from getting any type of momentum going.
But yeah, not really sure. I mean, I saw it live. I'm like, yeah, he just clicked Dragon Tail. I don't think he even knew it because he said it in the chat. He said WAT. But yeah, just don't know what the thought process there was.
Yeah, and this one plays out about like you'd expect it to. I don't see any reason to continue.
No.
So we're going to hop
Blastoise.
on now to Staying Safe versus MRF. Two rookies debut. Right away, we're going to see that Regieleki lead. And that's a big volt switch into the resist.
It's still on the 2-2.
Oh, let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, we got to sync this up better next time. We'll get the producer on it. All right, we're back. Yeah, Tutu, a nasty guy behind closed doors. Deserves the criticism. He actually enjoys it.
Shiva said you guys didn't go off Tutu's neck. I don't have a comment for that.
Yeah, we do see the wild charge come out from Zamazenta doing the same damage as close combat, but a little more damage in return. And that's how Zamazenta is in its debut, running an offensive set with close combat. I think we saw a lot of that out of Swaggy when it was on his team. Or on his roster.
I want to say he was just doing that just to not get the extra drop.
Yeah, could be.
Right?
Yeah.
Creamtail played a big role here, though, for staying safe, just being able to come in on Skarm whenever it wanted.
Yeah, and you can see how over time even Skarmory will have trouble switching into Zamazenta, especially if maybe like a black belt or a choice band set or something similar.
I think he gets the burn here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like that
MRF
play.
there decides to let the Skarmory drop pretty low in exchange for a layer of spikes.
I think Zam is just such a good switch into Tinglu. And then, close combat's just going to chip the Skarm over time. I really like staying safe's game plan here.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind. Tinglu is able to sort of tech its way around Screamtail at times with the heavy slam. Not seeing it here, but we are going to see a Perish Song.
Yeah, we haven't seen Parasol on TP in a long time, but as I said pre-game here, the Regieleki, the ice is just going to start to chip down that Tinglu. Very good answer to Tinglu, Skarm. Even Clef is going to take some good chip over time.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he ran Scarf. I thought in the chat he said something about Scarf Regieleki. I don't know if he was trolling or not late game, but... Parasong, no trap, whack. Yeah, I agree, Chiva. I wanted to see the trap, but I think he forced Treads into a decision there. Do I prioritize getting rid of rocks, or do I, risk spinning, getting burned? Which I think staying safe played it well.
Yeah, ultimately I think worked in his favor.
Like Irem, as you had it before, it's just such a good monitoring. Earth power, boom, good chip. Oh, that's great. The Earthquake didn't kill.
We haven't seen much out of King Gambit as of late, but it is going to clean up here.
Yeah, I think it's been a free agent for a couple seasons now.
Regieleki is going to be tough for the entire conference, especially able to terastalize like that. And MRF has a really strong roster too. Look at the 6 on the screen there. Very, very impressive. Interestingly, that the Terra Ice Regieleki and the Kyurem complement each other so well. It's obviously one of the fastest teams in the league too. Zamazenta and Reggielecki. That's just kind of nuts. Going to see a lot of choice scarf opponents this season. And then finally, we've got Frizion versus Lil Luxio. Another rookie debut here.
Yeah, this one we'll be watching closely in our film review and studying the tendencies of the Frizion camp. We were watching some of the videos throughout the week so far.
Yeah, and like we talked about, a lot of his team has pieces that your play style and your team setup really don't want to run into.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, just because you have a hyper offense team doesn't mean you have to run it every week. I think we've shown in the past that you have to be flexible in certain scenarios. So I think this week will be one of those weeks that you got to watch out for, especially for Frizion. He's got unaware mons all around. But the T Diddy to start off the game, little eruption shenanigans. Like to see that.
Yeah, you really hate to see the Urshifu come away doing that much damage when you do have the rough skin Garchomp at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly able to hold the Rocky Helmet as well. So versus Rapid Strike especially, you really want to force them to run protective pads.
And it looks like Scarf Urshifu, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, assuming because it outran the Tornadus. Not sure if the Tornadus was running speed or not. But yeah, you really want to use the Garchomp to punish Rapid Strike whenever you can. At least force it into protective pads, if nothing else. That really limits its longevity and its power.
Yeah, and I think here, not really sure what the Protect was for there from the Metagross. Oh no, it's Explosion.
But one thing
Flex.
Luxio did game one that was excellent, and here you see it too, breaking through the Dondozo. We saw the Choice Band Garchomp, Terra Dragon, busting through Dondozo 2 out of 3 games. So I thought that was a good adaptation.
Golden Guppy. Really like that name.
Yeah, and you see
I think,
Whimsicott, I think, could have gotten in much earlier.
Yep. Yeah, not sure if it was packing Encore or not, but that could have does get crit. But I think you could have prevented that a while ago.
Yeah, but it was close, and I'm a big fan of Belly Drum Azumarill, one of my all-time favorites.
And then this was the what I was talking about. I thought so. I caught the end of this game.
Uh-huh.
I thought Azumarill was going to clean up here.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about it. Without Technician or Terra Water, you really just can't break down bulky Mons with your Aqua Jet even at +6 like we see here with Ursaluna.
Yeah.
You need that Terra Water or, like some way of boosting the base power of that move to really clean up with it. Yeah, similar to Hariyama last season. If you can't Terra Steel the Belly Drums, that's kind of ass, right? You're never going to have enough power. And even if you do Terra Steel, you still lack a lot of power, even at +6. That one ended up pretty close. There were a couple plays, some being questioned in the chat, like the Rotom switch in to the Urshifu. Yeah, but I think Lil Luxio showed a lot of promise. I think he can definitely get some wins this season.
I mean, yeah, you probably could have went into Chomp and taken, like you said, taken some chip. I think that's something we'll be writing down there, like the chip. Whimsicott should have came in sooner, I think, on the Dozo. If I see Dozo and I run a Whimsicott, probably have Encore somewhere.
Mach Punch for Yama. Does get faint, though, potentially on a Terra Normal set, right? Terra Normal, Faint, Facade. But yeah, no Mach Punch. Hariyama, kind of an odd move set for a fighting type overall.
Yeah, scrappy series there from Frizion. Purple guy, question mark.
Yeah, any questions from the chat before we get out of here? We haven't had a lot of podcasts lately, so we're going to open the floor here for a moment. Yeah, Terra Dragon Chomp did look good. Able to bust through Dondozo. Yeah, and all you're concerned about is fairies because you're going to blow through steel types too. Yeah, so a good bring there from Luxio. What matchups are you most excited to see this week? I'll be honest. There's a few I'm interested in, and a few I think aren't going to be that interesting.
I'm excited to see Greed and Willis, depending on what that happened. Chiva said, "Where's my game?" LOL. This was rookie week. We did the debuts for some of the rookies. Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, I do put extra mayo on my sandwiches though. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Chiva versus Dev.
Yeah, that's a highlight game for sure. Willis, Greed, and I think will be fun.
Excited for Limit Maki. Big Weavile guy. I like seeing Weavile.
Yeah, I think Limit Maki will give us a good idea of where these two really stack up.
Yeah. Hopefully RJ pins Tommy Tutu.
I
over
don't
a
think
balcony.
any hope is needed. I think that's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I'm excited to play Frizz. I haven't played Frizz in 2 seasons. That's happening Sunday night, like 8:30. I know this is a big one for Frizz. You know, he likes trying to take down the shadow government guys, as he calls them. So he'll be training all week to make sure he's right. I'm coming off an embarrassing loss of the playoffs, so I'm taking extra care for every week. So it'll be a good one for both sides. I think. You know, I think he's going to try to shut down Sneasler, of course, with Dozo, but we got a few tricks up our sleeves.
Yeah, we're just excited to click Wicked Blow throughout the season. Click a little Dark Pulse throughout the season. A little for alligator action. Big fan favorite too out here in Butler. I think that's all we got for the fans here tonight. We're gonna get some games up on the YouTube channel once the booth really locks in. Gets their shit together once more. Any last words, Machiavelli?
Yeah, Tutu's an idiot.
Whoa, keep it cordial, please. That's per producer.
Tutu stinks.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.